The following video is rated PG for puzzling gameplay. Viewer discretion is advised.
It is time for our defending champion to try and take a foothold into their pool against one of our newcomers. It is the number 4 seed, FFR Pro 21, and our 20 seed, Breadpan. Hey guys, how's it going? This is your head tournament organizer, Cards of the Heart, and welcome back to the League of Puzzle Speedrunners Tetris Attack Speedrun Tournament 2022. Got a nice little matchup to start our Pool 4 play for this week. FFR Pro, our defending champion, Breadpan, one of our newcomers to the tournament, and to call this match this time around, I'm going to step back into the backstage area and let our two commentators call this one here. Tetris Attacker and Tayman, take it away.
Thanks, Cards. Tetris Attacker, you can call me TA, right here with you, with Tayman. How you doing, Tay?
I'm pretty good. I'm only about 20% salty right now.
Well, salt is an important ingredient in bread, and salt is an important ingredient in Tetris Attack. So we'll get that salt level up as we go. But with this great matchup coming at us, before we get too far, for any of you joining us who don't know the game or how we play it, head organizer Cards of the Heart put together a little explainer video to break it down for you.
Tetris Attack is a match 3 puzzle game released for the Super Nintendo in August 1996 for North America and November 1996 for Europe. It was also broadcast on the Japanese Teleview service from November 1996 until the service was discontinued in June 2000. As a match 3 puzzle game, if you match at least 3 of the same panel either horizontally or vertically, the panels will disappear. To win, however, you'll need to do more than simply match 3 at a time. You need to make combos and chains to not only prevent your gradually rising stack from reaching the top of your playfield for a time, but also send garbage to your opponent to make their stack reach the top of their playfield. You make combos by matching more than 3 panels in a row at the same time. They don't keep your stack from rising for very long, but they do send small garbage blocks to your opponent that can quickly add up if stacked correctly. You make chains by linking sets of 3 or more matches together. Make a set of panels disappear and then have the panels directly above them fall into another match. Not only does this keep your stack from rising for a longer period of time, but it will also make thicker garbage blocks that will be more effective at actually filling out your opponent's stack to the top. If your stack reaches the top of your playfield and the game tries to break the stack through the top, you lose, so you want to avoid this at all costs and force it on your opponent as much as possible. To beat these computer opponents, you'll have to either make sure that they run out of time while their stack is completely topped off, send so much garbage to your opponents that they can no longer make a move, or send garbage to your opponent in such a way so that they think they can no longer make a move. That said, due to the way this game handles combo garbage as well as the overall speed of these opponents, you will almost exclusively see our players make them run out of time through timely garbage attacks. Easy mode has 10 stages, normal mode has 11 stages, and hard and V-hard, as we call it, have 12. In this tournament, players will be racing through those stages to get to the end as fast as they can. The first player to defeat the final opponent wins the race. The first player to win a predetermined number of races wins the match. Best of luck to all of our players.
All right, so here in our tournament, we are in the group stage, week 3 of 5. Our players have been divided into 4 groups called pools this year of equal numbers, and round robin play will determine the best 2 out of each group to advance into brackets. Each match is a best of 5, so first to 3 wins, and we'll be playing on all of our difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and the red background V hard coming at you. Starting each match, players will agree on the first level, and then from there, loser picks. And because each game level plays a little bit different, we will see some strategy, and we have seen through multiple matches different strategies be employed on what each player is comfortable with and feels will work. So by the end of our 5 weeks, we will have everyone in each pool will have played each other, and like I mentioned, those top 2 players in each group will advance into final bracket. Tell them what we're playing for today here, Tay.
Playing for a brand new car, or maybe one car payment, possibly. If we get that 40% prize pool. So yeah, we have a prize pool that we've actually started since the PPL 2021 tournament, and we're hoping to get we're setting a goal of $500, and yeah, like I said, first place is going to be 40% of that prize pool. All the way down to 3% to anyone that makes the main bracket. We're also going to be handing out a little bit to other participants, 3% to the winner of the redemption bracket, and 2% will be raffled off to someone who does not win a prize. It's fun to raise the stakes a little bit, and we like to have fun in these tournaments, but there is something to play for. So you can add to that pool by cheering, or doing direct donations, or by doing gift subs. You'll add $1, $2, or $6 depending on the tier of the sub. So yeah, just a fun little thing that we've added. You could win. Congrats to Yoshi for the $200, but there's lots of other prizes to go around.
Absolutely, we may be Yoshi versus the field for that first place, but lot to spread around, and honestly, most of us play for bragging rights and puzzle glory, but having a little bit extra is a fun little addition, and we enjoy and giving something to work for here. As we go into our match today, let's take a look at how this group 4, or pool 4, pardon me, is sitting right now through 2 weeks. This is our first match of week 3 for pool 4 here. FFR sitting up there at the top at a 2-0. He came in as the 4 seed, the favorite in this, and one of the favorites for the whole tournament. Breadpan, a relative newcomer. We've only seen 1 match so far, sitting at 0-1. And we'll see how this continues to play out, as this group has a lot of playing left to do. But what are you looking at in this group here, Tay, that you're really wanting to see, and maybe wanting to see out of these 2 players today to see how this will shake out?
I think everyone's looking forward to the big matchup of FFR Pro versus Foxy. That's the vintage 4 versus 5, and a really exciting matchup that we wouldn't get to see if FFR Pro hadn't gotten dropped to number 4 on the last day, thanks to my miraculous.
Thanks to someone, yeah, someone, right?
Thanks to the pretty good Tetris attack player. It's as far, and Smart versus Foxy Man is going to be a good one, because Smart has been over the past couple of years been up and coming, always been improving her game, and the improvements that she's made, combined with perhaps Foxy's lack of consistency, is going to make that pretty competitive. So those are going to be the big matchups of this bracket, but why don't we talk about the matchup at hand here? Got FFR Pro versus Breadpan.
Yeah, so a little maybe misleading would be the word I'd look for on the qualifying in 20th seed here with Breadpan. First appearance here in our community, but because of the way it was weighted, Breadpan only having submission in one category led him down to be 20th, but was 17th in that submission category and holds 18th place on the leaderboard in easy. So not someone coming in without some skill, certainly, and I think that 20th rank is certainly not a good representation of the skill level. That said, the other side of this coin here is our one of our tournament favorites, FFR, won PPL 2021, the reigning Tetris Attack tournament champion from 2021, with multiple top 5 finishes across the entire board there, top 5 times in every category, top 5 qualifying times in every category. This is certainly going to be a tough uphill battle for Breadpan. I don't see this going any other way but a FFR win. It's just what path are we going to take, and as we've seen a few times, that just because it's a little bit of a mismatch on paper does not mean that we're getting a 3-0 sweep. Someone taking a game off of a higher seed has already happened a couple times, including to you, Tay. So what is FFR going to need to do to try to avoid that here?
As we always talk about with FFR Pro, is like, don't lean so heavily on your cursor speed, and try to build more consistent chains, just to avoid the really bad stages that can lead to an upset. Now he does tend to have pretty quick follow-ups, but we have seen instances where he's slipped, gotten trolled a little bit, put up, worse times than we expect, and that's led to some perhaps underperformance in a couple rounds. We saw in the last Tetris Attack tournament, actually got beat by 6 in the main bracket, which is very rude of him because he dropped him down to beat me in the losers bracket. So let's never forget that, everyone. But yeah, what we see with these new players is that, like, we don't really know, what kind of practice they're doing behind the scenes. We can see new players improve pretty rapidly, as I think we saw in the last match. So like it could happen. Like, we could just get a sudden surge by Breadpan. Maybe he'll be able to take off a game from FFR Pro.
We did. As you mentioned, I was on the call. We did just see that Zepp dropping a 30-second improvement PB on hard mode to take a match, and sometimes that's what it takes. But we've seen a lot of it. 7 or 8 different players now have gotten a PB in a race in just 2.5 race weeks. So that's certainly possible.
Yeah, I think with these, like, on paper mismatched games, like, we really just want to see the underdog perform well and continue to improve, because that's really what this tournament's all about. Like, we love seeing new players come in, we love seeing them improve, and even if you're matched up with someone like FFR Pro, there's no reason you can't at least make progress while you're probably getting beaten.
Yeah, no, it's certainly an uphill battle, and just because your opponent is FFR, he may be the upper crust of the best in the community, doesn't mean you can't put forth some good times and some improvements on your own, and maybe snipe a game here or two. But without too much further ado, Tay, would you like to take us to the match here?
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up, we have number 4 seed FFR Pro 21 versus number 20 seed Breadpan coming at you right now.
I could do the right now thing, but I just never seem to do it as much justice as you do. Oh, and we are starting our match today on normal mode. A good starting point, I feel. I think my my last 2 matches both started on normal, so it's a middle road as far as game speed. It's 11 of the 12 stages. It's got some odd quirks to it, but certainly is a great place to get started. And we'll see if it's a good warm-up zone, and if FFR's in the zone today, or if he's looking a little more vulnerable. We'll kind of get a feel for that through one round, I think.
Breadpan might want to increase his odds by just insulting Vaporeon in the chat before the match gets started.
I think that would decrease his odds. We don't want to invoke the ire of FFR over here. He doesn't take insulting sitting down.
Yeah, you might get like 1 or 2 bad stages from him before he'll just completely pop off. So
we have a few different personalities here in this tournament, and some people get salty and like really the salt starts to affect their play negatively. And we've got a few players who get salty, they'll waver for a stage or 2 and then embrace the salt and just really just it starts fueling them to just higher levels, and it's insane sometimes.
I think that's the Donald Duck approach, because I started watching DuckTales, and I didn't know Donald Duck would just go in a frenzy and then just totally curb stomp his enemies. And like I'm pretty sure that's like our salt-fueled competitors, myself included. We're basically Donald Duck at that point.
The Donald Duck strats. That needs to be an emote or a command at some point. Invoking Donald Duck strats. We just had a match with Forky, and we've got Forky strats here in the community. That's our new one, Donald Duck strats. We'll write it down. We're keeping it.
Let's go. The lore continues.
The lore builds, the lore deepens, and away we go. Looks like Breadpan may be a second or 2 ahead, but we're relatively close to synced here, so we shouldn't have too much differential. And you'll notice immediate difference in cursor speed. No one can match FFR's cursor speed except Yoshi. I think Yoshi and FFR are just, their cursor speed is so much faster, and everybody else is just working with whatever they got. And good play from Breadpan, but FFR immediately just slamming that Lakitu.
Yeah, Breadpan, like, playing it safe, going out to the X9. I think usually we encourage players to perform a little more conservatively in the tournament, although like maybe that's a little bit of an overkill. And honestly, if you're going up against someone like FFR Pro, you need to take more risks to get those quick strats. And FFR Pro putting up a 15 seconds on Bumpty.
Yeah, there's a couple different philosophies on that. You can either play risky and hope it works out for you, or you can try and play as consistent as possible and hope FFR gets trolled. Against a player like FFR, neither of those are a guarantee by any stretch, but whichever philosophy you're going to go with, and a lot of players simply aren't going to adjust their play based on who their opponent is that day. They want to play the best game that they can play, and that's certainly a good way to go about it and approach it as well.
FFR Pro, I don't think he really ever changes his strats in the tournaments. He wants to go all out no matter what, and it's paid off pretty well for him so far. So let's not assume that changing your strat is mandatory.
Yeah, if we could go back to that other screen, we saw a bunch of firsts and top 5 finishes. Yeah, it's worked out real well for him. So not necessarily a problem. Another sub 15 here on Wiggler.
It's like every time FFR Pro has a match, we have to talk about him. The worst thing we can say is like sometimes he goes too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this guy doing?
The only dig on FFR is occasionally too quick in a speed run. Yeah.
What's your biggest flaw? Well, I guess sometimes I work too hard.
Oh, I'm too effective occasionally. Oh, man. Still going over here. That Froggy really wanting to troll, but didn't get a chance.
Frame perfect kill on Breadpan's side. Always exciting to see, but that's going to keep him with just the 1 stage deficit. FFR Pro's just cruising along right now.
Absolutely. FFR weaving combos into those chains, getting a couple lag chains as he goes. And you'll notice that he kind of has a little, I almost want to say a hitch in his delivery there at the beginning. He takes a quick moment as he's raising his stack, and then boom, he's off to the races. And that's certainly something good for those of us who are learning, at any level, just starting out, or basically anybody who needs to improve, which is everybody. Sometimes taking that extra moment on the front end means that you're going to be able to get those calculations right as far as where things are going to sit, how you want to make your attack, and when you want to drop it.
Oh, that was an interesting 7 combo.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of 7 combos. They're not as efficient as far as number of garbage blocks for how much you drop, but when they're there, and you take them and make sure you got the opponent topped off. That is priority number 1, first and foremost. Over there, building the 8 combo from Breadpan. Love to see it. Took him a little bit longer to put it together, but he was able to get a nice, strong attack with those combos. Get Blarg finished off in a 29.
Yeah, and if you learn to set up those longer combos now, they're not going to take as long next time. So just being able to have that to your repertoire is very important. And like some of the best players get those 8s and 9s because they do drop 2 lines of garbage relatively quickly.
Yeah, if you can do 2 5s in this, around the same amount of time as you can do 1 8, they're roughly the same. So it's just what do you have there? What do you have in front of you? What are you working with? And those bigger combos have some definite advantages.
A little lag chain there by FFR, but he's gonna get the 13 on Kamek, avoiding some of the trolling that can happen in normal mode cave, which I think is like a bit of an overlooked trolling in the series, because I think what happens in normal mode is that the AI just gets good enough to downstack and clear a bunch in the cave, and usually have to send more than you expect, which is always frustrating on those normal mode PB grinds.
Yep, and channeling the not often used Lakitu strats. In the cave, you can select one of Yoshi's freed friends to be your avatar. So he's channeling that Lakitu, often a trolly character, and dropping that on Piranha Plant's head. Always fun to mix it up a little bit there and put a little variance in how things are going for you if you want to shake it up, keep things fresh, or otherwise maybe change your fortune or improve your fortune. That's something that some of us reach for to just be a little bit different. You lose a frame or two to do it, but it's we've got these fun characters here, so why not use them sometimes?
Harpo trying to rebuild here.
Yeah, that one didn't go the way he wanted it to from the start, I don't think, but he's reloading pretty well.
And that should do it right here. Getting a very solid 624. Not much trolling in this normal mode.
Absolutely. And and that's the big boss of normal mode, Hocus Pocus Kamek, going down. 6:22, the official finishing time for him there. Very, very respectable. Meanwhile, Breadpan just finishing up on Hookbill, cruising on into to Plant, going at a pretty good pace here. Want to make sure we're doubling down and making clear that this is absolutely a good pace here that Breadpan's on. Just because he's on the same screen as someone as crazy fast as FFR, sometimes you forget that FFR is going insane speeds and everybody else may look slow in comparison, but they're not. They're playing quite well.
Having a little bit of trouble getting something started here, and I think like the panicking from the newer players is pretty common. Then they don't necessarily know how to follow up on something or get something new started. And I would just recommend like just raising the stack up a bunch,
Yes,
especially
you would
on normal mode.
That. You would recommend that.
Yeah, because it's correct. And like you don't have to go. You don't have to go all the way to the top.
You've never recommended that to me, not once ever. I have never heard that from you in my life. Is my sarcasm thick enough?
It didn't become a refrain in like the last 2 PPL tournaments.
Oh man, you're right. And part of that raising the stack, having enough to work with, and everyone's style is going to differ a little bit. But certainly, working on how to get a good follow up is something that newer players really. I mean, it's a lot of it's a mental game too, not just what the blocks on the screen. It's getting your brain reset to be able to go for something, find something to work with. And be able to keep going. And that's something that we've seen a lot in this tournament. Newer players who've gone a match or two, perhaps, with a little bit of, panic in their play, evident on the screen, and then settled in and kind of mentally got into a good groove, even within the same match overall, and kind of be able to learn to deal with those tournament nerves, but also find the follow-ups where they need them. Good 31 finish there from Breadpan. For a 9:03 finishing time.
Yeah, solid time for Breadpan. Pretty hard to compete with FFR Pro putting up a 6:22.
Pulling that one out. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. We'll see if as we go, FFR getting the first star. And we'll see if Breadpan can snipe a star, perhaps pull a PB out of the oven, and get one off of FFR here. But what's the next mode we're going to is going to be picked again. It's selected by the loser, so Breadpan's choice. We'll see what he's going with. Both have their cursor on easy. Is that where we're heading?
It's the TA specialty.
The TA special. I'm one of the few that seems to like it, but we'll see if Breadpan chooses to go that direction.
We conducted a survey of 5,000 Tetris Attack players, and only 3 of them liked easy mode as their favorite. So you are in very rarefied air, my friend.
But we're not going easy, we're going hard. Breadpan choosing to go with a little bit more variance to have a chance against FFR here, choosing chaos as his friend. I don't blame him. I enjoy easy mode, but easy favors the more technically sound player. And we noted in the opening that Breadpan has a good leaderboard time on easy mode and didn't have one on the other 2 modes, but good is not necessarily good enough against someone as crazy fast as FFR and high cursor speed. Oh no!
Look at that setup. Oh no!
Oh no, Breadpan!
You don't have to raise your stack that much.
Oh no!
You hate to see it.
And that's the unfortunate thing that a lot of players will run into, is that feel for when to stop raising. Can be a little bit difficult to find sometimes in every game, and every game mode and game speed it feels slightly different. And so those of us who've been playing for a long time kind of take it for granted. We've made that mistake a few times. We've kind of hard coded the how long to hold that LRR key down into our brain and don't go over it too much more anymore. But newer players, that's certainly something that's going to come up, and you're gonna learn it at some point.
Yeah, the deaths are that much more punishing in Tetris Attack, because like we don't have any reset strats in this game, unlike the harder difficulties of Pokemon Puzzle League, and it's happened to everyone at some point. You raise the stack a bit too much, or a cheeky AI like just gets like a lag or chain off the garbage on you.
We actually, I don't know if you saw it earlier today, a veteran player had it happen to them on a stack raise just today in the tournaments. So it definitely happens. You learn to do it a little bit less, but it's something that can happen to you.
FFR Pro just, like what else to say
right
about FFR Pro? Another great opening. He's really good.
Yeah, he weaves he weaves those combos in, and actually one like fascinating thing when you're watching FFR Pro's screen, you watch and you're like, oh, I see what he's setting up here. I see he's setting up this chain right here with a combo right here. Wow, that's impressive. I didn't think I don't have the cursor speed to get to that, but he's so fast. And then you see him weave like 2 more combos into it than you even saw, and then you don't notice them until they show up, and you're like, how?
You know, it's very rare to be able to do consistent 4 chains and be able to top off the opponent, but like that's what FFR Pro's been doing, because like I would say that normally you should go out to at least X5, but with all the combos and how fast FFR Pro's been doing it, plus how if that ends up being a little short, he's pretty good at sending follow-ups. And really, that tends to, like, you know, work just fine for him. We've talked about how he can sometimes drop chains. Hasn't really been happening today, but when he does do that, he just has really quick follow-ups and still gets really good times.
Yeah, you mentioned the nitpick on him, and it's definitely a nitpick, is that he sometimes goes too fast. The thing is, he's so good at using that as his own recovery. From his problems may be self-induced from trying to go too hard and too fast, and then he uses that speed to just recover as quickly as possible and not really get himself in too much of a hole, even when he does make a mistake. It's impressive to watch, and you love seeing players with that really good cursor speed just blow your mind with all the things that they're able to do, like that right there.
Good recovery on doing the frame perfect catch.
Oh no!
Unfortunate clear there. But yeah, like sometimes I've done this as well, but like I always think it's better to look at the bottom of your screen, like see what's below your clears, and then try to set up your clears that way, and you will know what you have available to chain to you below. Because like right there, FFR Pro didn't have any greens, except like, you know, with a pretty frame tight trick. You know, I think a lot of people, they'll just get caught up in chaining and not actually like look below what they're clearing, and then like they'll drop the chain. And you know, that's it's easier said than done, because like it involves like expanding your board vision and being able to react on the fly.
Yep, and a sub 445, by the way, casually from FFR going into cave. We are doing a full cave here in hard mode. Ooh, Lakitu strats again. Rocking the cloud. Just bringing it on in. Raining on Hookbill's day here is what it seems was going to happen.
Got those big pillars on Kutha's side, and that's a good 13. We love to see it. Pillars are our favorite architecture. You know, if we had a Puzzle LPS frat house, it would have pillars in the architecture.
But the real question is, what style? Corinthian, of course, right?
I'm not familiar with classical architecture. There's Greek pillars, I'm sure, and Roman pillars. Maybe.
Oh, within Greek, you have a few: Corinthian, Ionian. Anyway, I digress. 18, just completely bulldozing this cave right now from FFR. Meanwhile, Breadpan, he's struggled through a couple of these stages, but really, nice 8 in the drop-in right there. Really has had some good plays to make sure that he hasn't gotten too far behind on any single stage. Each stage has lost him some time off of where I think he'd like to be, but no single stage has really been a giant time sink for him. I don't think he's had any minute and a half stages that have gotten him. Meanwhile, I don't think FFR has gone over 25 seconds on a stage yet. 15 on Kamek going into Bowser for the final stage here. Once again, running away with it as we expected, but it's still impressive to watch.
Yeah, on pace for a pretty low 7 here, assuming no major trolls. And this is the gentle Bowser, as our friend 6 likes to say. You know, he does go gentle into that good night.
Occasionally.
Pretty often. FFR might be a little short here, although that's a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Intermediate clear.
He left a little bit too much time for Bowser to be able to get to that one before getting the follow-up in there, but I don't think there's an immediate clear for Bowser, and yeah, didn't even move the cursor. Didn't have enough time. Finish it off with a 27-second for a 7:17. Solid time from FFR. His qualifying times were a bit better than that, but for a no reset scenario, that is a fantastic run. And honestly, with a little bit better, Bowser could have even been a better time. So was playing very well. And here we are, Breadpan in the cave, looking to finish strong as well. We knew this would be a bit of a mismatch given FFR's experience and overall speed and skill, but Breadpan really trying to make a good show of it here.
We see that he has like good instincts, and he has some he understands advanced chain maneuvers.
Was that a no garbage on the screen kill? I think Conch is keeping track of Conch kills. I think that's a negative Conch kill is what he referred to that as.
Yeah, what do we call the full screen kill?
Yeah, I think Conch has been referring to those as negative Conches when there's no garbage on the opponent's screen when they die.
I'm gonna politely object to that and say inverse Conch.
Inverse?
Inverse is just a cooler word than negative.
I like it.
But yeah, I was saying that Breadpan, we see him going for some more advanced chaining, and like sometimes he's like just missing them, but he clearly has the vision for them. And this is why I recommend like newer players or just like established players go on marathon mode and practice with no pressure. And see what you can do. See what sort of chains you can do, because sometimes you'll see like what's possible even on accident. I mean, when I was playing this game as a wee young Tay, I just spent hours in marathon mode. I don't think I even played that much in versus mode, and you just you get a better sense for chaining, and you find out all these neat little tricks. As Kamek, can you not do that, please? Hello?
Yeah, marathon mode is kind of this game's built-in practice mode, and I think a lot of us have learned that it's definitely a good place to spend some time and work on your side of the screen, and then work your way back over into versus mode on how to apply it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think the only thing that I would say might be more important than that, as far as progression in my opinion, that we've seen in these tournaments, is watching your own races. And that sounds really odd and maybe a bit awkward for people, but that's been, for me, and I've heard multiple other people say it, that one of the biggest points of improvement that's come about from some of these tournaments is going back and rewatching your races, trying to figure out where you made the mistakes, like right there, and how to avoid them. Oh,
come on, Bowser, what are you doing? I don't think Breadpan expected that barrage from Bowser. Just dropped 4 lines on him all at once. You hate to see it.
Yeah, you gotta learn to be careful and know, have your own feel for what when to hit that shoulder button for a stack raise, and for some people it's better to always check what's about to hit before you pull that button. But that's those are rough to see. He was starting to get something lined up there, and I think it's kind of thrown him off here for the reset on the stage, trying to get a good attack put together.
Yeah, speaking of analysis, that brings us. That's a nice seg into our sponsored section. Be sure to tune in to 6 tonight as he breaks down the weekend's matches in a frame by frame analysis. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Do we have a name for that segment yet? As Breadpan finished it, 6 seconds or less? I don't know. We can work a sports reference in there, I'm sure. 11:35 finishing time for Breadpan. Considering the trolling and a little bit of trouble they had, good recoveries all around, bringing that into a good time there. respectable for the for what he had going working there, and certainly something that I think, as I mentioned, going back and reviewing that, Breadpan will see a lot of little things that he can improve on and hopefully incorporate into future matches. But that is the second star for FFR, and that means we still have a third match to go and another chance for Breadpan to perhaps snipe a game and extend this match today. And it's Breadpan's pick. Tay, which way do you think he's going to go, and which way do you think he should go?
I always say that you gotta go for the V hard if you just want to get like at least one game for bragging rights off of someone like FFR Pro. Now, like, considering that his best category so far has been easy, maybe he'll go for that. We have seen that he's struggled a little bit with the the faster cursor speed potentially. So I'm gonna guess easy, but we'll find out in just a moment here.
We will. A lot of players opt for that. I mean, higher variance V hard, more randomness in the AI play. It gives you a chance, but it's still, I mean, I think the right play is to go with whatever you're most comfortable with. Okay. I think V hard is the pick.
We got that beautiful blood red background to remind us of
hard was pink. V hard was red. Brought it darker. Gonna go like a DC universe movie, just real grim and dark, right?
Well, it's a better universe than a universe where you speedrun Tetris Attack.
We live in that universe.
Oh no!
Imagine living in the timeline where we speedrun Tetris Attack. Oh, here we are, enjoying ourselves in spite of all the salt.
We're having fun here, folks.
Breadpan preloading up that V hard selection. I don't think FFR will. He typically does not, and he really likes bouncing that cursor around. It's kind of fun. So let's see. We're about to get our way underway, and I believe the runners have started. So here in this last one, what are you looking for from Breadpan to have a chance? Is there something specific he'll need to lean on?
I think he needs to take just a little bit more time in setting up his chains. It looks like he's been panicking a little bit, and this is much better here. Like just getting blocks that are closer to his cursor. Hopefully this Lakitu is okay.
Okay,
it's a good attack.
Yeah, we take those. That was enough to fill the screen, and that was a really low Lakitu. 15 from FFR, obviously, really blazing through once again and playing well. Oh, a little bit of visual hiccup there. We'll see some chains exploding out of the fog of war. Here we go. It's a fog of war. We didn't know this was an RTS game, but here we are.
Tetris Attack, maybe the only game with more inputs per second than RTSs.
At least the way FFR plays it is. Yeah, that's for sure. 14 on FFR screen. Breadpan with a decent attack and good follow-ups there, getting a 27, not letting that bumpty take it too long.
Yeah, it's all about avoiding the worst stages. But if we see Breadpan getting like 25s and FFR Pro getting 15s, then he's gonna quickly fall behind. But it looks like he's opting for the strategy to chain out a little bit more.
Nice solid big chain. He had some combos. When will they drop? There they go. 21. That's definitely good times there. And even if he's 4, 5, 6 seconds behind on every stage, on V hard, I mean we've seen minute and a half plus Bowsers, just today. They happen. So you just have to stay close enough to have a chance if that trolling strikes.
keeping within the margin of RNG, as I like to say. You never know what can happen. Although this, okay, Breadpan needs to be careful here because Wiggler is sending a lot of garbage. Come on, Wiggler, don't do that.
Yeah, Wiggler's sending a lot. Breadpan cut that chain a little bit quicker than...
Alright, drop it. No. Drop it to get the crush. No.
Oh, yeah. So that's... I mean, that's one thing that's really hard for players, especially as they're newer into the speedrun to learn, is reading that opponent's screen and knowing, you know, when to make the move. Ended up finishing it out all right, but certainly could have cut some time off of there with a timely drop.
Isn't there a bounty on Crush on Wiggler, too?
There is, absolutely.
No, he missed out on the $5,000 bounty.
Had it lined up right there. It's not $5,000. Don't be writing checks for Conch to cash.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
It's 5,000 Canadian dollars, so that's what, $1.20 US.
I can cover that. No problem.
I don't know what the conversion rate is from from green American dollars to I don't know, bottles of maple syrup or whatever it is you guys use for money up there in Canada. I joke, I kid, of course.
Very clever.
I went for the low hanging fruit, even though maple's not a fruit, and yeah, that's what we get. Nice, going out on a chain again. Extended that chain, had to do a little work to get that X6 there on the chain, but I don't know if he had any combos in that at all.
Well, no, a minute on Froggy, that's going to put him further behind. FFR Pro is on pace for a sub 5-minute cave here, which is pretty solid. Like, I personally shoot for sub 5:30, which can put you on a sub 10 pace pretty regularly.
Yeah, I would say a sub 5:30 pace into cave tends to put you at a sub 9, end pace is probably around, but a 22, around 450 entering cave. Yeah,
wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, just ho-hum, another amazing run over here from FFR, blazing his way through this game like he does.
Well, he's been so consistent with his chaining today. And
yeah,
like that doesn't really open the door for the AI to troll you quite as much.
Yeah, he's when FFR is on, he can definitely just put this game into submission, and it seems like he's on 14. His game today. 14 for Hookbill. And once again, the Cloud Lakitu strats, he just keeps throwing Spinies over there, over the wall, and taking them out.
What is Oh, okay. For some reason, I didn't see like the cursor light up, so I thought he had reset or something. That'd be pretty terrible.
No, I think he's not playing at full frames, so sometimes the...
Oh, that's gonna be good.
The 11. He saw that high stack there and knew that he could get enough off to have a chance. It wasn't certainly not 100% that that would have worked and that Piranha wouldn't have downstacked, but he knew and read that situation perfectly to give himself a chance on that really, really fast time. Dropped an 11. Love to see those.
We're gonna have 2 7-minute stages on the same day.
Is he gonna get a better V hard than his hard? At this rate, he might.
Oh, come on! Oh my God!
The Kamek got greedy, went for the 5 combo, and just didn't quite make it.
Holy
the 12 second, and we are on an incredible pace over here. Let's see what Bowser gives us, but my goodness.
Dude, Bowser cheese for the sub 7, maybe?
Bowser cheese for sub 7, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yep, he's going for it.
He went for it. I don't know if Bowser was high enough for it to work, though. I don't think it was. He's got to get a good follow here.
Okay, let's see what Bowser does here.
Good follow. Is it enough? Oh, real high on the
no.
stack raise. And there goes
He's got to be careful. Everyone's got to be careful here.
FFR, the blocks do that little shrug right before you run out of stop time, and they did it.
Wow.
FFR was right there. There we go. 32 seconds.
That's a PB for FFR
Finish.
Pro. I think that's like a 4 or 5 second PB with a 32 Bowser. Like, my God.
Is that a PB for him?
I'm pretty sure. Like, my PB beat him by a second, and I have a 724, so he just bopped me off the pedestal.
Oh my goodness.
Again.
Oh, I mentioned how many people have gotten a PB in race here in this tournament, and it looks like we may have just gotten another one. 7:25 is his PB, indeed. I just verified that. What's his official time from race time? What do we got? 7:20 flat. A 7:20. That's a 5-second PB. Oh me. Oh my.
God. And that's gonna be pretty good to run against if you can get to Bowser with that 30 seconds. You know, he tried for the cheese. Sometimes you can get like 4 line kills on Bowser, but he just started chaining too soon. But let's not dwell on that.
Only
Still an incredible run.
Only 3 people have gotten a time faster than that. Only 3 people have ever gotten a time faster than that. That's insane.
Isn't it just 2?
There's one more, our good friend Cozy Pocket.
Yeah. Absolutely insane.
Oh man, that's just craziness. Just sheer insanity. Just casually going on such a great run, and then he got faster as he went into the back half, did he not? Like, he was going on pretty good pace through the first 2 stages, but then just the afterburners ignited and kept going faster and faster. And once again, in race PB, just lighting up this tournament. We've got everybody getting in on the action, it seems. We've got people dropping improved PBs all over the place in qualifying month. We've had a large number of them. Oh no, and Breadpan taking the death to Hookville here. He's going to keep going and finish this out strong, but I mean, what do you do against someone who's so fast as FFR and then FFR PBs? There's not a whole lot you can do here.
I mean, as you'd expect, we don't usually see PBs from the top players because their times are already so low. You don't expect to beat them in a race.
Well, was it not just a few minutes ago you and I mentioned FFR doesn't really change his strats to try and be more consistent in these tournament races. He's basically doing a PB attempt every time he's up to the bat.
Well, if you're like at this much of an advantage, there's really no need to be conservative. I think the conservative strats are more like if you're going up against, like, let's say like you're an A tier player going up against like a B tier player, like maybe like a situation like that where they're in striking distance. But with like a mismatch like this, then there's really no need to be conservative, and you know, FFR Pro just likes to do the best he can in every race.
By the way, calling out here in the chat window, Cards, the time that FFR just put up is the second fastest recorded time since we started using racetime.gg, not just in tournament, but even on race nights or, you know, all the other times we've done timed races. Second fastest time ever. The only person to beat it, of course, Yoshi, who is insane. But that's a phenomenal time.
Well, Yoshi just did that like a couple hours ago.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
That would have been the fastest time earlier today. But Yoshi decided to looked into the future, saw FFR's PB and said, no,
Well,
no, I'm gonna make sure this isn't the best ever. I'm
Well-
taking it.
well, Yoshi is like the Barry Bonds of Tetris Attack. Like, is it really fair to make comparisons to him?
Hank Aaron, I don't know. It's
Okay.
it's probably not fair to make comparisons. It's probably not. I'm trying to think of why we should, but we keep doing it. But yeah, Yoshi's unfair, but FFR is just going crazy over here.
Yeah, Breadpan though. Let's hope he finishes strong here. He's on Kamek right now, and just trucking along, even though at the hands of one of the most dominant finishes we've ever seen.
Yeah, from a player we already expected to be dominating, and just took it up even beyond those expectations. But and that's sometimes that can be a good thing. I mean, the pressure's off. There's the race is over. FFR is already done. Now all Breadpan needs to do is just finish strong, play well, work on his game, and be ready for future races and his own improvement. So that's a little bit of a blessing. I mean, personally, I'll tell you, my first 2 races ever when I joined the community a few years back, my very first times that I raced against someone in one of our events, very first one was Yoshi, and my second one was cards. So there's some real advantage to being outmatched, and then just being able to work on your game, because you don't have any expectation to put on yourself.
Ooh. Kamek is just dropping a walloping on Breadpan without attack. Almost died there. Kamek trying to go up to 3rd tier, and finally is going to take the loss.
There we go. Get out of here, Hocus Pocus. Take your broom and leave.
Use the broom for what it's designed for. Sweeping my kitchen, which I haven't done in like a month, so I need to do that this weekend.
K-Man over here so dumbfounded he's just remembering his chore list. Wow.
Well, it's like, the weekend's a time to get things done, but you don't want to just waste your weekend just doing stuff, because then when do you have time for yourself?
Oh, yeah. A little bit of double inputs there on Breadpan's side, but we're covering all right. Why do you want to do anything on weekends, by the way, Tay? But anything but watch this, I mean, just seems like a waste of time. I say, knowing that I have children who I need to, give some attention to.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, of not hypothetically, but very thetically. Oh, Breadpan's got enough here.
Come on, Bowser. Don't chain on 2nd tier, please. Oh, but he's not topped off.
He didn't drop it. He was still working. He was trying to keep even chaining past that, but this should do it, I think. Bowser buying a little bit more time, but there we go. Finishes it off. Finish strong. Work on those late stages. I mean, in a race scenario, those late stages are one that you really got to work your way through. So, getting a little bit of that in race practice there. 15:45 finishing time for Breadpan. GG, nice finish. But what we've all been waiting to do here is see that 3rd star for FFR and the win banner. Impressive fashion. Dropping the V hard PB.
Ho-hum, just elite times in every category. He was playing. Well, it sounds like we're gonna bring on FFR Pro to talk about his performance. So instead of gushing right now, we can gush with him live.
FFR, come gush with us. That was great.
Yo, thanks, guys. Yeah, that V-Hard PB kind of felt nice because I made a real hard choke on the normal PB earlier. So it was nice to get a little bit of revenge.
Oh yeah, no, we're over here just oh yeah, whatever. He's playing fantastic like he does, and then the afterburners get kicked on, and suddenly you're on this insane pace, and you kept it up. It was great to watch. Anything you were really watching for as you were finishing there, or what was going through your head? I mean, did you realize how great of a pace you were on?
Yeah. I mean, I had splits kind of on my computer here, so I could see, Cloakville, Naval, Kamek really helped kind of make the PB happen. Bowser tried. He tried to ruin it because he was chaining Common pretty good, but no, just couldn't quite do it.
Were you going for the 3-line cheese on Bowser? I forget what the initial attack was. It was just like 3 or 4 lines, I think.
Was that a drop or a cheese?
Oh no, that was intentional cheese. I usually on Kamek and Bowser, I only do like a 3-chain bunch of combos. Try to get him topped off really quickly, and then just spam combos to keep him topped off.
Oh man, it didn't work as the quick kill, but your follow-ups. I mean, most of the day on all the modes, your follow-ups were real clean. But I feel like that's what really sealed the deal there on that Bowser. That was great to watch. We were popping off a little bit with you there. That was fantastic.
Thank you. And the best part was I kicked Tayman off the leaderboard podium once again.
That's really cool. That's really
hey,
really good job. Excellent.
Turnabout's fair play, right? I mean, he pushed you down on the last day of qualifiers for the tournament down to a 4 seed. So there you go. And maybe this is back and forth. If we go all the way back to was that PPL 2020 when you took his world record from him?
Yeah, after he set a new world record in qualifiers.
These times have been just going down so much, and it's just fun. Another fun reason to have these tournaments. Look, how many people have sub 8s now? Like, it's ridiculous. That used to be
17. 17 people, I think. I was looking at the board earlier.
You used to have maybe 6 or 7 people with sub 8s, and now it's just exploded. So yeah, just building off of FFR Pro's good fortune, it's spread to everyone. So but yeah, really good stuff today, FFR. You played flawlessly. You played great. I called a potential PB in race for this match. I'll be honest, I thought it would be Breadpan. But we'll take those. FFR, fantastic play. Any thoughts on the race today? Any thoughts on your upcoming looming match against Foxy to decide who gets the top advancing out of this pool?
Yeah, my match against Foxy will be definitely pretty good. But I know if I just play like that, like I did today, I'm sure I can sweep up the group just fine.
Bottle some of that play today. Yeah, bring that with you on a future date. That'll take care of most anybody. That was fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in and giving us some of your thoughts. Any quick closing thoughts, FFR, before you go and celebrate the PB, I assume?
Yeah, I might celebrate a little bit with a nice, casual stream of some sorts. I don't know what I'll play, but GG's Breadpan, good stuff.
Absolutely, Breadpan showing that there's some definite skill and understanding of the game there, working little by little to start putting it together. And I hope he gets a chance to rewatch this match. There's a lot to learn from his own play, and right next to him on the other side of the screen is a fantastic example of how to just really just burn through this game over there in UFFR. So GG's fantastic game. And we're looking forward to those future matches here in the rest of the pool and going into bracket. I think you might not have mathematically secured it, but you're very close. If not, you've essentially secured that spot. So congrats on that as well.
Sweet, thank you.
Well, Tay, as we look forward here to the rest of the matches for the day, we got one more match here in the same pool 4 that's going to give us a little bit more of that clarity. And we just mentioned him, the number 5 Foxy Man. FFR and him seem to be on a collision course, but our 12 seed, I Like Being Smart, is going to take a crack at that 5 seed, going for the classic March Madness 5-12 upset, perhaps, to upset this group. Anything specific you're looking for on that one, Tay? I think it's going to be a real good match as well.
Yeah, not to get too deep into it right now, but like the 12 seed is definitely deceiving for I Like Being Smart / Nicole, as many of us know her. She has a reputation for like putting it together in races, and like Foxy Man has choked a little bit in races, so like I think it's just going to be a matter of consistency in that match, and definitely big potential for an upset. And I know Smart like really wants to put on a good showing, and you know she's gotten some training sessions from me over the past couple of years, so I think that's a big leg up for her. So you'll definitely want to stick around and see that one. Like definitely one of the most exciting matchups of group stages.
Yeah, so absolutely, those of you joining us here on Twitch, you just watched some fantastic play. Real quick, one more just, oh my goodness, for that time that FFR put on. Sorry, I needed to indulge myself a little in that, still a little in disbelief at how fast that was. But stick around, that one more match today, and then additional matches tomorrow. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us, and check out the rest of the videos from the rest of the tournament and continue following along. And if you want to catch us live on this or future tournaments, twitch.tv/Puzzle Speedrun. Tay, any quick closing thoughts before we sign off?
Now I got my new controller in the mail, so I'm motivated to get back on the PB grind, and you know, maybe for one day.
There we go. New controller hype. Love to see it. Well, for myself, Tetris Stacker, for Tayman joining me here in the booth, for our head organizer and today's restreamer, Cards of the Heart, for our runners, FFR Pro 21 and Breadpan, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and happy puzzling.
Hey, everyone.